I've got the new Dominique Cosmetics Celestial Storm eyeshadow palette to share with you guys today. I'm actually holding up the sleeve that the palette comes in, which is a pretty holographic. I purchased this off of the Dominique Cosmetics website for $44. It's probably going to come to Sephora.com soon because they also carry Dominique Cosmetics. I'd gotten a decent amount of inquiry on Instagram when I posted a picture, so I thought I would go ahead and film a review video on it. This comes in a cardboard packaging, much the same as the Rustic Glam palette and also the Berries and Cream palette. There are 12 eyeshadows in here that are 1.2 grams per shade, which is a decent amount of product that you're getting in here. It is cardboard with a magnetic closure, and then there is a mirror inside that flips all the way back. And I did do a demo with this palette, which is the look that's on my eyes right now, and that will be towards the end of the video if you're interested in seeing how these perform for me. This palette has 6 matte shades and then 6 glitter shimmer shades. And I say glitter because there are super fine micro glitters in, very noticeably in these 3 shades right here, and then there's very fine ones in these 2 as well. This one is kind of more a standard shimmer. I'll zoom up close and give you guys swatches and stuff so you can see them better. These really heavily micro glitters, I mean, they're super fine. They're like, if you can see on my lid there, the finest of sparkle. Those shades I do have to kind of grind my brush in there to pick up the product because I can kind of feel like there's some silicones in there, a little bit heavier binder in those shadows, and I think that's what makes the glitters stick so well. Like typically when I use a shadow with those micro glitters in there, they fall on my face and they don't stick quite as well. These ones, in my opinion, stick very well to the lid. I get just a little tiny bit of fallout, but not much at all, and they remain really sparkly. So I think that's why there's that kind of heavier binder in there, and it makes it a little bit more difficult to pick up on a brush, but the sparkle that you get on the lid is so pretty. And I don't mind having to work with those shades a little bit more by kind of, you know, digging my brush in there to pick up that product, because once they're on the lid, they're so pretty. Like, I just think that shimmer is so pretty. It is a super fine shimmer and very fine. I can't reiterate enough how fine the micro glitters are. They're not big and chunky. They're very fine, but you can still see them and they just sparkle so pretty in the light. So I really like those shades. I think that they're stunning. I can kind of see where some people might get frustrated with them because they are a little bit more difficult to pick up on the brush, but again, that's what makes those glitters kind of not go all over the place. Her mattes are very much in line with the mattes from her other palette. I get along with her matte eyeshadows really well. I actually get along with all of her eyeshadows really well. I think that she does a really good job in curating a palette. This one for me is just missing, I wonder, it's just missing a matte brow bone, which I did bring in Wet n Wild's Brulee for underneath the brow in my look today. I'm beginning to think that the matte brow bone highlight is dead because a lot of palettes just don't have them recently. So I love that I can bring in my little Wet n Wild Brulee and it just does the job so nicely. But other than that, I really like these shades. Very little fallout, especially for the shades with that glitter. I think the only shade that I haven't used in this palette yet is this really vibrant turquoise shade right here called Mystic Ice. Now let me go ahead and zoom up close and give you guys some swatches, and I'm going to compare them next to her other eyeshadow palettes. So here's the palette up close. Again, a cardboard packaging there. And then you flip it open and there is the mirror. And here are your 12 eyeshadows. So for matte shades, you have got Lucid Dream, Storm Dust, Lunar Eclipse, Astrid Lust, Mystic Ice, and Zero Gravity, which is like that gray shade. And then those shades that I was talking about with the heavier sparkle in them, or heavier fine micro glitter, is this Electric Amethyst, which is kind of a duochrome with some blue in it, Stargaze, and Eternal Light. And then I think these are much finer than these ones, the Black Matter and Solstice. And then you have Fireball, which is kind of more a standard shimmer shade. So let's give you some swatches here. I'm going to go ahead and go over that blue again so you guys can really see the effect because it's not swatching that well. Rubbing my finger over them is almost kind of creating a little bit of a glaze over the top of it, as is the nature of the surface of my finger. But with a brush, if I kind of, you know, grind it in there, it picks up the product better like that. So those are the first 3. And then these next 3, which are all mattes. Her mattes just, they really blend out nice, and they have really great pigmentation to them as well. This purple right here is just a little bit more stiff in the pan than the other mattes, but it is a matte purple shade. It went on and blended really well for me, but when I showered that night, I did have a bit of staining from that shade, so that is something to be aware of. Like my skin just had a kind of a pink hint to it. And then these last three. This shade here is just a little bit more sheer as well than I would kind of like. So, zoom out a little bit here. There are the swatches. I kind of feel like these swatches don't do like these shades justice because I think they look so pretty on the lid. But now here it is next to Rustic Glam, which is on top, and Celestial Storm is on the bottom. Then we've got Berries and Cream on top and Celestial Storm on the bottom. Then we have got the Lemonade palette on top and the Celestial Storm on the bottom. And then we have got the Latte palette on top and Celestial Storm on the bottom. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. I actually had to pull my Rustic Glam palette out of my favorites pile for that favorites video that I've been meaning to do because I really like her shadows. I've been getting along with this palette really well as well. Hopefully you guys found that helpful. Now if you're interested in seeing how I got the look that's on my eyes and how these worked for me, you can hang tight and we'll get into it right now. I already went ahead and primed my lids from the lash line to up underneath the brow with the Bare Minerals Bare Pro Stick Foundation. Now I'm going to take a Sonia G Builder 2 brush and I'm going to go into the shade Eternal Light, which is this one right here. And when I pick up these shades, I kind of have to do a little bit of this type of motion in there to kind of get it to break apart to pick up that product on the brush. And then I tapped it just to get any excess off. And I'm going to put this on the first half of the lid here. Then I'm going to flip over that same Sonia G Builder 2 brush and go into the shade Electric Amethyst, which is this purple shade with a kind of a blue duochrome to it. And then I'm going to overlap it with that other shade and blend them together. I've got a teeny bit of fallout. I'm just going to go ahead and wipe that off right away. Then using a Sonia G Builder Pro brush, I'm going to go into the shade Storm Dust, which is the first matte I'll be using. And I'm going to put this guy through the crease. I like to angle it up towards the tail of my brow. It just really lifts the hood of my eye. Then I'm going to take a Hakuhodo J146 brush and go into the shade Lunar Eclipse, which is a matte orange. I'm going to start blending this. Then I'm going to use an Esum G29 brush and I'm going to be using Wet n Wild's Brulee eyeshadow, which is a matte kind of bone color for underneath the brow. The palette does not have anything like that for like a matte brow bone highlight, which I just like a matte brow bone highlight, so especially when there's like some bright sparkly colors on the lid like that. So you can hear my cats eating cat food in the background. I just really like to blend this here, and then I like to go back in with the Hakuhodo J146. And I don't pick up any more product, but I just like to bring this up a little bit higher into that brulee shadow. You know what I could have done, darn it? I could have used one of the matte brow bones in her other palettes. That way it would have been all the Kristen Dominique shadows. Dang it. Then one more time with the Esum, and I'm not picking up any more product. I'm just going to run this through here. I think that turned out so pretty. I'm going to go ahead and finish up my eye makeup, and I'll be right back to put on some lips for you guys. For lips, I've got one of the Esum dual-ended lip pencils, and this is in the shade Nude. I'm going to use the lighter shade of that, and I'm just going to line my lips and kind of fade it inwards. I really like this lip liner. Esum is Muse spelt backwards. It's from Muse Beauty Pro, if you were wondering. Which I do list everything that's on my face in the description box too. And then to fill them in, I've got the Kylie lipstick in the shade Butterscotch. Right there. And I like to just take the lipstick right over the top of the pencil. And there is the overall finished look using the new Dominique Cosmetics Celestial Storm eyeshadow palette. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.